Welcome to the launch of Stuff Made and Built in Eastern Ontario. On behalf of my colleagues at the Ottawa Business Journal and Great River Media, I'm so excited to present this project to you. It's the culmination of many months of work. We have a jam-packed virtual event for you. In the next 30 minutes or so, you'll hear from Ontario's Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade, Vic Fedeli, the President and CEO of Algonquin College, Claude Brulé, the CEO of the Canadian Manufacturers and Exporters, Dennis Darby, local CEOs such as Isabel Graveline and David Ross, and we'll wrap up with the EMC, Excellence in Manufacturing Consortium, its CEO, J.P. Giroux. All this in the next 30 minutes or so. Let's kick things off right now with two of my colleagues. Welcome to Terry and Christine, the two people that made this project happen. Terry, we're going to start with you. Give our viewers a sense of Stuff Made and Built in Eastern Ontario. What is it and why do you think it's important?
So Stuff is a multifaceted project with three components: a website, a print and digital magazine, and a one-year marketing campaign. And the mission is pretty straightforward. We want to talk about what's being built in Eastern Ontario, who's building it, the companies and the people, and what kind of careers are available. And I think the project is critical for a couple of reasons. First of all, manufacturing is an important industry, but I think post-COVID, it's now an essential and critical industry. And one of the challenges is that the message of there being wonderful jobs and great careers in manufacturing is not getting through. You know, the region is often known for technology and tourism, and I think the main goal of Stuff is to let people know there are wonderful, great careers in manufacturing. And that's what we hope to do through Stuff.
Yeah, a great point. There's an important HR element in this. Christine, let's go to you next. One of the features I'm really looking forward to is called the 35 Coolest Things Made and Built in Eastern Ontario. Yes. Give our viewers a little bit of a preview of that.
Oh, that list is always so much fun to pull together, and there's so many different great products out there to choose from. Just off the top of my head, some of my favorites, I'd have to go with chocolate, of course. Hummingbird in Almont has award-winning chocolate that some say is best in the world. And another favorite I would say is HFI Pyrotechnics in Donville. Now, they started in 1873 as a fireworks company, and now they're working with the Canadian military to make smoke grenades so that search and rescue teams can help find and save people, which is pretty wonderful. But overall, I think my favorites really have to go back to the theme of the issue, which is be a local hero. Because with the COVID crisis, so many companies in the region, turned on a dime and stepped up and found new ways to help keep their communities and their employees safe, including, hand sanitizer, PPE, mobile medical units, and so much more. And there's just too many to name to single out. So yeah. You have to read the issue to find out.
Oh, good. That's nice and enticing. Terry, before we wrap up, give us a sense of who is supporting this project. This is a big, complex project. It's multifaceted, as you said. Who's supporting it?
So I think, in fact, Michael, the fact that there's so many great partners, I think, is the key to the success in the project. And I think, I can mention 5 partners that I think are critical. So certainly, we want to let students know that there are opportunities in manufacturing. So our partners are the 13 Eastern Ontario school boards and the 5 colleges. Of course, we want to know what jobs are available. So our other partners are the manufacturers and builders. In the magazine, there's about 100 builders and manufacturers that are profiled. We talk about what they're making, what kind of careers are available, and even what kind of education you need to get involved in those industries. So I think our partners are the students, the school boards, manufacturers, the business community as well. And also the media. So, as an OBJ as a partner, it's the opportunity for us to amplify the message and get the message out to as many people as possible.
Well, thanks, Terry and Christine, for all the hard work and great job. Thanks for joining us. Well, let's keep things rolling now with a very special guest. Please welcome Ontario's Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade, Vic Fedeli. Thank you for spending some time with us, Minister Fedeli. I can't imagine how busy you are these days. Thanks a lot.
It's great to be here, Michael. Thank you for the opportunity.
So, Minister, manufacturing has always been a bedrock of Ontario's economy. I'm sure we can agree on that. With the pandemic, however, it seems like there's an even greater appreciation for manufacturing in Ontario. Can you share your perspective on that?
I think it really came to light when COVID first struck and we couldn't get a lot of materials here in Ontario. And the Premier, put his foot down and said, never again will Ontario be caught not being able to make all the products we need. And so we launched the Ontario Together portal. We put $50 million up for the Ontario Together Fund. And we saw a lot of manufacturers throughout Ontario pivot to make personal protective equipment, our PPE that we need. And we really saw a lot of the economic engine of Canada sort of get fired up again. It was really exciting to see all of these companies begin to make PPE. We make everything here now except for gloves, and we're working on that. That has a few more challenges because of the rubber only comes basically from Malaysia. But we saw on the website, Ontario Together, we saw 30,000 submissions. We bought almost $1 billion worth of goods from that website. It's over 900 million. And we saw so many companies come to life and are in permanent businesses now making personal protective equipment. But we also saw that Premier's challenge being taken up outside of PPE. We're making a lot more products here in Ontario where, for whatever reason, over the last decade, 15 years, we saw manufacturing leave Ontario. You've seen a real focus in the last 2 years on bringing it back, and a real exclamation point the last 6 months.
I love what you said there. There have been so many manufacturers that have pivoted, whether it's to PPE or other vitally needed things during the pandemic. Are there any stories that inspire you when you think of an Ontario manufacturer that really stepped up to the plate, so to speak?
Yeah, there's a couple. There's one in Almont Dairy Distillery. Now that was they make hand sanitizer, but first of all, they make a vodka, but it comes in what looks like a sort of a clear little milk bottle because it's made from sort of the waste of making milk. If you can imagine, stuff would normally have ended up in the landfill, and they make this beautiful vodka. I think it's called Vodcow in this little bottle, but they make hand sanitizer now because they also make the alcohol. And that was just a really unique, fun little company that's not so little. They got a phenomenal business, a phenomenal building there. I saw Troy Crosby's product, Link, which allows you to open doors and push buttons and things like that to touch anything. That was kind of cool. And then, of course, on the bigger scale, 3M, along with our partner, the federal government, now are manufacturing. They're building the plant right now in Brockville to make the world-class 3M N95 mask. That's a $75 million plant. That was MPP Steve Clark, our Minister of Municipal Affairs. He did a phenomenal job on bringing not only 3M to Brockville, but there's another company, Greenfield, that's building another $75 million plant in Johnstown to make the alcohol for hand sanitizer. So those two stories were, along with Troy, but those two Ontario Together stories were kind of interesting. But you just think for 1 second about what's happened. Since COVID, we've seen, according to Stats Canada now, 144,000 manufacturing jobs either come back or be created in the last 5 months. But this morning, when we woke up this morning, 11,500 more people worked in manufacturing this morning than pre-COVID.
Wow.
So that tells us manufacturing, that's where it's at.
Your government's also partnered with the CME on a program called Ontario Made Program. Can you give us an overview of what that program's about and what it wants to accomplish?
Yeah, that's a very exciting one. So first of all, the CME did a great job in launching Ontario Made. And it's really a branding program so that you can identify when you're at a store picking up two different products, If one has the Ontario Made logo on it and the other doesn't, you know that by buying the one made in Ontario, you're supporting your neighbors and your friends and family. You're being part of the solution by buying a product that's made here. There's 5,200 products that have that branding on them this morning. Wow. Almost 1,500 companies have participated and about 200 retailers. So everything, there's some big companies like Pepsi, PepsiCo, and others, of course. I went into my home hardware store on the weekend to pick up some paint, and there was this massive Ontario Made banner over their Beauty Tone paint.
Wow.
Also, every single paint can has the Ontario Made emblem built into their packaging now, which is kind of nice to see. And it's a little chest beating, yes, but it also just tells you I can be part of the recovery of Ontario by picking up that product. And you have a lot of them in Eastern Ontario as well. North House Foods, they make hummus and dips and things like that. They've got the Ontario Made logo. Dustbane products, they've got over 100 of their cleaning equipment products. You'll see on Dustbane, you'll see that Ontario Made logo. Riverwood Acoustics, that's another place that they make speakers from those locally sourced Riverwood, I think they're called logs. They've got the logo. You've got Wawa Style Group, they make marinades and sauces and things like that. You'll see that logo. That list goes on and on and on. Premier and I were in Barrie at Napoleon Barbecue. And again, you got a Weber barbecue made in Chicago and a Napoleon barbecue made by 1,100 employees in Barrie. All things being equal, you might want to look at that Napoleon barbecue and support all the people across Ontario who make the parts for those barbecues. That's really the program.
Yeah, and tapping into that buy local sensitivities that are out there right now. I think that's what this program really helps with and helps it come to a realization.
Absolutely.
Minister, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate you joining us for the launch of Stuff Made and Built in Eastern Ontario. Good luck to you and your government as we navigate through some difficult waters ahead.
Thanks, Michael. I enjoyed our time together.
Thank you. Next, we're going to speak with Canada's largest trade and industry association for manufacturing, the CME. In total, it represents 10,000 companies nationwide. We're happy to have its president and CEO with us here today, Dennis Darby. Note that Dennis is joining us from the country, so his video resolution is a little soft today. Dennis, thanks very much for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, good morning. Nice to talk to you.
I want to start off by talking about your organization, the CME. You're about to hit a really incredible milestone for your organization. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Canadian Manufacturers and Exporters in 2021 will celebrate 150 years of advocating for manufacturers. I know I don't look that old, but I've been around a while. But no, seriously, it's really an important milestone because it was actually founded when Canada was just beginning its industrial expansion. So it's around the same time as the completion of the Transcontinental Railway, and it was founded actually by the government with a bunch of industrialists to try to build up the fledgling industrial sector.
That's incredible. What a milestone, as I mentioned. Dennis, we're in a really unique time in our history, as you know. Where the country and the world is suffering through a pandemic. We've seen a medical crisis. We've seen an economic crisis. Give us a sense from your perspective about what's happening in manufacturing these days.
Yeah, so that's a great question because so the manufacturing sector, which we represent, and we represent the broadest sector. So everything from cosmetics to food manufacturers to oil refiners to steel manufacturers. So when the pandemic hit, we could see very broadly all the effects it could have. And that's actually what happened. We saw very, very different effects depending on what sector you're in. Right off the bat, it was almost totally about, can companies stay in business? Are they liquid? Do they have liquidity to be able to continue? And then very quickly, we saw ups and downs. So aerospace and automotive suffered huge losses right away. Things like food manufacturing and consumer products, they saw their demand increase. And so it's been quite uneven, but by and large, this year, it'll be about a double-digit drop in manufacturing output in Canada.
Oh, that's unfortunate. And maybe that's a next segue to the next question, which is your organization, together with the Ontario government, launched something called Ontario Made. Tell us about that program.
Well, thank you for asking. Well, that's a great program. So it's a program focusing on the manufacturers in Ontario, and there are about 750,000 people employed by manufacturers in Ontario, and it's the biggest. It's about 45% of Canada's output. So it's where it matters. Manufacturing really matters here. And so the Ontario Made program was intended to promote Canadian-made or Ontario-made products, Ontario manufacturers, and in fact, as of just yesterday, actually, we have over 1,400 companies registered to promote. They've got 5,000 different products made, and almost 204,000 people have visited the site. So what we're seeing, and also 200 retailers who've talked about, hey, we've got products that are made in Ontario. I think it's really for two purposes. One is to shine a light on the importance of the sector. It's an important sector in Ontario. It's the majority of Canada's exports. Over 3/4 of our exports are manufactured goods. Over 80% of what we sell to the U.S. is manufactured goods. So, talking about manufacturing, specifically in Ontario, is really important. So, one is to raise awareness and also let people know where they can buy Canadian-made products. But also, we want to shine a light on the fact that things made in Ontario are high quality, they're competitive. We're part of a global supply chain. So it's really all about, hey, here's something we do really well in Ontario. And by the way, these are not, these are high-tech products. These are companies that are on the leading edge of technology adoption. So it's a great opportunity. And also, if you go to some stores, you might see the logo on some products.
Many manufacturers are feeling the pinch these days, whether due to the fallout from the tariff wars, COVID-19 slowdowns, or the opposite problem, too much business due to COVID-19. We're seeing it all. Fortunately, these manufacturers are receiving fresh support from several government programs. The Ontario and Canadian governments have awarded a contract to support steel and aluminum sector to the Eastern Ontario College Consortium, 5 Ontario community colleges led by Algonquin College, offering reskilling and upskilling to steel and aluminum manufacturers. Meanwhile, the Ottawa Employment Hub, also housed out of Algonquin College, and several local partners, including the Ottawa Board of Trade, our good friends, have launched Making It in Manufacturing Ottawa to support manufacturers in the National Capital Region. Joining us to discuss these efforts and many others underway at Algonquin to support the manufacturing sector is the college's president and CEO, none other than Claude Brulé. Well, I'm very happy to be joined by Claude Brulé, the president of Algonquin College. Thanks for joining us, Claude.
It's great to be here, Michael. Thank you.
It's wonderful to see you. Of course, manufacturing these days, Claude, seems to be becoming ever more important. And I'm wondering if you can tell us about how Algonquin is helping to prepare students for the changing nature of work in this pandemic and what comes next.
Yeah, great question, Michael. The college is all about education and training. So first and foremost, we want to help our learners acquire the skills in order to be attractive and help companies manufacture the products of the future. And that starts right from high school. So, attracting students from high school coming to college, helping them transition as well. There are some great programs that we're partnered with our school boards on, whether it's dual credit, where some students take a credit that is helping them finish their high school diploma, as well as getting a foothold in college. And also there's a specialist high skills major in manufacturing that 3 high schools in the region are offering. So helping to contribute in that regard.
Okay, and that's a perfect segue, because I was going to ask you, we're today, of course, is all about the launch of this manufacturing project, and Algonquin's playing such an important role in supporting us with it. Tell us a little bit more about Algonquin, how it helps companies succeed in specific areas like manufacturing.
Yeah, well, we've had some downturns recently in our economy, in part due to the tariff wars with our friends to the south. And we saw the impact of that in the steel and aluminum manufacturing. So several colleges in the eastern regions came together. That's ourselves, Fleming, Loyalist, La Cité, and St. Lawrence. So all of the colleges that form the eastern region. And we formed this consortium that is helping those manufacturers in that sector. And to date, we've helped over 800 workers with additional training, whether it's technical trades training, whether it's innovation, entrepreneurship training, leadership training, and advanced safety training. So all areas that can help a company be nimble, pivot, reposition itself, take advantage of the talent they have, and continue to produce goods in Ontario.
Claude, just before we wrap up, I was hoping you could give us a tangible sense of some of the programs that Algonquin offers to help prepare people for manufacturing and other businesses grow.
Great question, Michael. We have specific programs at the college, at the diploma level and at the degree level. For instance, our manufacturing engineering technician program. We have an electromechanical engineering technician, robotic programs. We do welding and fabrication. And our new exciting program at the degree level is a Bachelor of Automation in Robotic. And we're very excited with that program. We've got a brand new lab that shows the assembly line of the future and what the possibilities hold for automation in the field of manufacturing. We're also having an initiative that is financed by the government of Ontario, and it's administered by our Ottawa Employment Hub, and it's called Making It in Manufacturing. And we're working in collaborations with local organizations, with school boards, with employers, service providers, with the Ottawa Board of Trades, of course, Association in Manufacturing, and Invest Ottawa to bring together that ecosystem to assist manufacturers get the talent they need in order to develop the products in Ontario.
That's great. Claude, thank you for your time today, and thank you for what you at Algonquin and all of the colleges across Eastern Ontario are doing to help the sector at this time. Thanks for your time, Claude.
My pleasure, Michael. Thank you.
Well, as you heard, a big part of Stuff Made and Built in Eastern Ontario is about the manufacturing sector's workforce. So let's talk with a local CEO, Isabel Graveline. She leads a company named Kilmarnock Enterprise, headquartered in Smith Falls, with also operations in Trenton. Isabel, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate you being here.
My pleasure.
So if there are viewers out there who are not familiar with Kilmarnock, give us a sense of the company and what manufacturing activities it's involved with.
Right. So we've been around for 40 years, and it started in actually 1981, and then in 1996 we incorporated, and we started out as a small sort of design boutique firm with my father at the helm. Then he retired, and now we are actually a full service provider, end-to-end solution provider to manufacturers, covering all of the trades, well, specifically machining, millwrighting, welding, and then we move into what we call our race team, robotics, controls, automation, and engineering. So we really consider ourselves a full end-to-end solution provider for manufacturers in Ontario.
That's great. And tell us a little bit about the labor situation for manufacturers. We sometimes hear that it is difficult to access skilled labor these days. Tell us about your perspective on that.
Yeah, so, we've had an acute trade shortage for the last 20 years. I don't think many people know that. It's been very, very difficult. There's been a massive exodus of, the sort of 50 plus age range that has left the trades. There aren't a lot of people coming up through the ranks. Younger people, through the years have really been led into IT and other sort of non-trades related careers. So it has been difficult. It continues to be difficult. We really are encouraging, public-private with educational institutions to really destigmatize the trades. It's such a lucrative career choice, and we I think we're a really good example of that.
That's exciting to hear. And Kilmarnock, as I understand, is doing so well that you're actually looking to add people to your team in 2021. What types of jobs are you looking to fill?
Well, we're always looking for tradespeople. We're looking for, millwrights and machinists and welders. And we're also looking for STEM graduates. And particularly, I would love to see more women coming into our company to, we encourage and embrace diversity. And I would just love to see more women applying, more women being interested in manufacturing. It is such an exciting field now, particularly with how a lot of manufacturers are now considering automating their processing lines.
Isabel, thanks for being part of the launch of Stuff, and continued success to Kilmarnock in 2021 and beyond.
Thank you.
Well, when you talk manufacturing in Ottawa, this company certainly comes to mind. Its hardware and software powers video productions reaching billions, that's billions with a B, of global viewers, ranging from the Super Bowl to rock concerts to U.S. network news to sports stadiums. I'm pleased to be joined by its CEO today, David Ross.
David, thank you so much for joining us for the launch of Stuff.
Thanks, Michael. I'm excited to be here.
Often, specifically with the OBJ readers, we're writing about Ross Video, and they're thinking about your Ottawa office, but in fact, your manufacturing activities are very centered around a place south of Ottawa in Iroquois. Tell us about what manufacturing is happening at your Iroquois plant.
Well, we manufacture almost everything that we make in Iroquois. We've got something like 70,000 square feet of manufacturing space, and we're just starting on our expansion. It's going to happen all through 2021, and we're going to be almost doubling the size of that space. So it's an amazing place. We do all sorts of different kinds of manufacturing. In fact, I think one of the core is we've got 3 surface mount lines where I like to say that we have 50 components going onto a circuit board every single second while I'm talking to you today. And so that's a really cool manufacturing process that's going on. And then we also have people working with high-end computer servers from Dell and things like that, and they're loading on software, they're configuring things. There's a technical process there for a lot of our software-based products. And then we also have a robotics team. So we do camera motion systems, and they don't walk around like robots like you think. They're usually on wheels and things like that, or suspended from the ceiling, hanging from wheels. But these are like $100,000 robots that do all these incredible on-air camera moves. And in the end, they actually get used by concerts like Beyonce or Taylor Swift or U2 and things like that, or they get to use. They're used at the BBC World News. They're circular sets. Those are robots that are made in Iroquois.
Okay.
Which is really, really cool. And so we have a ton of new positions opening up because the company just keeps growing.
Yeah, let's talk about those jobs. So if someone's watching this, and part of the purpose of Stuff is to talk about the jobs that are happening in manufacturing. So what jobs are you hiring for in Iroquois and beyond?
Oh, it's almost like every job you can imagine in a manufacturing facility. They gave me a list. There's test development, test technicians, manufacturing engineers, surface mount operators, assemblers, buyers. If you like spending money, come see us. We got planners, we got customer service personnel, and even this is a kind of a neat job. We're looking for a project manager to run the factory expansion that we're doing, because it's just such a big job. It needs a full-time person associated with it. And then we also hire 10 to 12 college or university summer students every year. And we've been working with Co-op as well, bringing in even engineering students to work on projects in manufacturing, not building stuff, but sort of higher end, process type solutions and things like that.
Neat. And if someone is interested in looking at some of these jobs, I presume they go to the Ross Video website. That's right?
Yes, www.rossvideo.com/careers. And I'm signing off new jobs like every day, quite a few every single day. They're opening up, they're getting on the board. So even there's more that are coming than you would even see right now. I think we might have maybe 50 jobs up or 60 jobs up right now for the whole company. And I think by the end of the summer, we'll have posted over 200 new jobs. And quite a lot of those are going to be in manufacturing in Iroquois, as well as other cool jobs around the world.
Cool. Well, thanks for your time today, David. We appreciate you spending a few minutes with us, and continued success in Iroquois at your manufacturing plant and around the world.
Thank you very much.
We're in the final stretch of our launch right now, but before we wrap up, I want to speak with a group called EMC, the Excellence in Manufacturing Consortium. Its president is JP Giroux. JP, thanks for joining us today. So to kick things off, JP, EMC is a really interesting backstory, and was hoping you could give us a 1-minute review of that backstory.
Absolutely. EMC is an industry-led organization, not for profit, focus on manufacturing, all subsector of manufacturing, from textile, plastic, aerospace, food processing. There's 14 out of the manufacturing sector, and we're all sizes, from small to large size company, all level of sophistication. We're national. We operate as a consortium. We're very grassroots. So we're on the ground. We're talking with manufacturers. We're collaborating with them. We're helping them to solve problems and come up with innovation. It's particularly very important right now.
And one of the really interesting things that EMC does involves training programs. So as you said, you work very grassroots and you help offer training programs to your members. Tell us about that, JP.
Absolutely. Right now, we have a suite of programs from essential skills to business skills to lean. Lean, we do a lot of work in lean. We create cohorts where we pool company together and create class of programs. All this is happening online. Used to be a mix of in-person and online. So we're leveraging technology from e-learning, from Zoom, as we are doing right now, as well as giving them tasks to solve problems in their plant, as well as coming up with new opportunities. We have as well fully funded and partially funded initiative that we're leveraging through partnership with federal government and provincial government, mostly in the area of essential skills, manufacturing essential skills. So we call this certification programs for production worker, for supervisor, first shift supervisors, and managers. So these programs can run from 6 to 8 weeks, and they will touch on area like problem solving, oral communication, digital skills. Digital skills is very hot right now, as we are moving along with more and more technology in our plant, in our days, in our life, as well as we touch on leadership at all levels, from shop floor workers to CEO. Team building is a very important component to the suite of program. And what we do is we have our own methodology to bring a project. Okay, so we task participants as well as employers to solve a real problem or to come up with a new opportunity in their workplace. And they have to use, obviously, their problem-solving skills, the continuous improvement skill, as well as measuring the impact of their solution that they're putting forward and bringing metrics. And at the end of the program, participants have to present their case, present their project in front of their peers as well as their senior managers.
I love the real world implementation of some of that training. And as we wrap up here, JP, I just want to get your piece of advice 2020, I don't have to tell you, has been a really unique year for manufacturers and all businesses alike. What one piece of advice would you give to people in the manufacturing sector as they look forward to 2021 and beyond?
Yeah, we're amazingly proud of our companies, our employers that are in our channel, and what the piece of advice come from them is it's the culture of innovation, like to build that culture of innovation at all level, from shop floor workers to CEO, where all employees have to pitch in these days. We deal with a lot of uncertainty, and that really also create opportunity. And if you have an engaged workforce and a culture of solving problem, coming up with new processes, coming up with new ways of doing things, and being creative in the workplace, I think you're winning. You have the winning condition on your side.
Well, there you have it. That's the launch of Stuff Made and Built in Eastern Ontario. This is the end of the launch, but just the beginning of the 2021 project. It includes a 120-page glossy magazine that is being distributed to local businesses, high school, and colleges across Eastern Ontario. We also have the website, www.stuffmadeandbuilt.ca, stuffmadeandbuilt.ca. You can view videos, read profiles on the website, and get more information on careers in manufacturing. As I wrap up, I want to give thanks once again to my colleagues at OBJ and Great River Media, specifically Terry Tayo, Regan Van Dusen, and Christine LeBlanc, who carried the load for this project. Also, some people that worked behind the scenes, very important to this project, Laura Covisto-Cazal from the Ottawa Employment Hub and Making It in Manufacturing, Lisa Benoit from the Eastern Ontario College Consortium, Claude Brulé, who's leading Algonquin College, and his colleague over there, Catherine Leroux, and all their teams at Algonquin College. They were a big, big supporter of us. Let's keep regional manufacturing strong and growing. Thank you.
Your car, your home, and many of the products we all enjoy. All made possible thanks to steel and aluminum from Ontario. Your company helps make some of Ontario's best products. We want to help strengthen your business for the challenging times ahead. We're the Eastern Ontario College Consortium, 5 Ontario colleges forging a powerful alliance to support the thousands of companies like yours working in steel and aluminum in Ontario. Whether you're looking to embrace new skills or new technologies, we're here to help you with free support and advice. If you need to upskill your existing workforce or prepare new hires to join your team, we offer free training to help those looking to build a solid career in steel and aluminum. Interested in learning more? Get the cold hard facts at eocc-cceo.ca. Formation aussi disponible en français. This Employment Ontario project is funded in part by the Government of Canada and the Government of Ontario. Our steel and aluminum manufacturers are making strong stuff. The things that move you. Things that keep us safe. Things we all rely on. But these companies need an ingredient more important than metal. They need you. Are you looking to shape a better future for yourself? Steel and aluminum jobs are among the highest paying manufacturing jobs in Canada. And we offer free training and support to job seekers looking to build a solid career in steel and aluminum. We're the Eastern Ontario College Consortium, 5 Ontario colleges forging a powerful alliance to support companies and employers working in steel and aluminum in Ontario. Interested in learning more? Get the cold hard facts at eocc-cceo.ca. Formation aussi disponible en français. This Employment Ontario project is funded in part by the Government of Canada and the Government of Ontario.
I'm Charlotte Beach and I work at Kirky Racing Fabrication. We build race car seats.
With only 4% unemployment, over 2,000 employers, an average salary of $66,000, and over 4,000 job openings annually, you can make it in manufacturing.